recording. Okie dokie. Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. I just wanted to give a quick introduction, first of all, and excited to have you with us and join on tonight to hear more about Zinzino. I asked if I could introduce the lady that's going to be speaking and kind of sharing all things tonight about us, as you hear from a couple of guests as well, just because she has such a special place in my heart. She has been a huge mentor to me in business, and that mentorship turns into friendship and then friends that became chosen family. So the fact that we get to do a business alongside of each other like this, like we had done in the past and had much success, it just makes my heart so happy. And this is a lady, if you don't know her story, who has literally, I would call it legacy in this industry. And I know that because I watched her pretty much through her entire journey and was fortunate to be part of it. And when we talk about legacy, that means it's life changing, family changing, and we're talking going down the family tree changing. And you're going to get proof of that tonight because her family tree is now actively involved in this company with her as you hear more about the business. One of those sitting right here tonight. And they're actually up at my home in Michigan visiting right now. So the fun about this business is you get to pick people that you want to work with. And so if someone invited you on this call tonight, this Zoom, it means they thought enough about you to say, I want you to see this because we could do this together. And so her success is phenomenal. This might not mean anything to you yet, but this is why I said maybe write these things down. Just in the short period of time she's been here, she's hit a level called director, which again, you don't know what that is, but you're going to see that later. And it's a pretty phenomenal spot to hit. And she's already earned some trips. So if you're joining here tonight to kind of learn about life-changing products, maybe some extra income, maybe the opportunity to travel, maybe the opportunity to have more fellowship and community, you are in the right place. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn the call over to my amazing business partner, Kimmy, and I'm going to flip it your way.
Yay. Thank you, Tiffany. You're so sweet. Y'all, I have to laugh because Tiffany was actually introduced to this company before I was. And when she called me to tell me she was introduced to it, there was a small part of me at that point that already knew enough to go, how come nobody's asking me to do this business? I was a little bit jealous. And so by the time I knew I was ready to say yes, I called her up and said, I'm joining under you. And she's like, well, I can join under you. And I said, it doesn't work that way. And I get to be under you this time. No, I love when we work with good people like this. It's just the way it is. We're just like, we're all going to win. So let's just get in so we can all win together. And I love what you said, Tiffany, because it really is. That's how I heard about this company. Somebody thought enough about me. They knew my battle in some of the just with health. And I was diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2018. I'm also 46 years old, so full on perimenopause, or so I thought. I mean, my health challenges may have solely come from what I battled with Lyme disease, and in the last 10 years, I've seen functional health doctors, preventative health doctors, you know, live blood analysis, and everything in between, trying to find a way to better my health. I've paid tons of money out of pocket. And while I've been able to do that, not everybody can. And sadly, in America, we are only getting B level quality health care. This isn't about politics. This isn't about going down a rabbit hole. That's just the fact of the matter. And so somebody thought enough about me to call me and say, have you ever specifically had your levels tested? Because if you haven't, I'd love for you to get those tested and see if that's what's happening with your health. I actually heard we can take care of your Lyme symptoms completely. I was like, I'm sorry, what? We can take care of your Lyme symptoms completely if we can get you in balance. I said, how long does that take? And they said it can take up to 120 days. And I said, I don't care what it costs, I'm in. And it was only $127. And so I said, yes. And that's just to start. That's just to get tested and get on the balance oil. And so I'm so grateful somebody thought enough of me to give me a call to tell me about, have I ever had my omega levels tested? Nobody had ever talked to me about that. I had heard I should be on a good omega. I had heard that my omega 3s were low and I should get on a good omega 3. But sadly, y'all, when my test results came back, I was out of balance. I wasn't even in safe range. I was in the danger zone. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that here in a minute, but I'm so glad somebody thought enough of me to bring this to my attention. And it was probably about 3 weeks into being tested and kind of sitting with this. And I'm a praying person, and I felt like the Holy Spirit was nudging me that this is what he'd been saving for me. And when I had the privilege of getting on the phone with the owner of, well, one of the owners of this company, one of the founders of this company, when he said they hadn't even done 5 million in sales in the United States, y'all, it was all I could do to not hang up the phone on him because I was so ready to get started. I thought, not only does our world need what this being in balance does for them, if they've only ever done 5 million in sales in the United States, we got work to do and we got a lot of money to be made here. And I don't say that from a place of greed. I look at how unhealthy our world is, and I know that there is a tremendous need. And so as we share it and help people get healthy, I mean, who doesn't want to get healthy? Who doesn't want to be fit, right? And I got to say at the same time, health related challenges have never been higher. And sadly, here in the United States, we're worse than any other country I've heard of. I mean, we'll get into that in a minute. See, I get ahead of myself because I just get so excited. I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit with y'all because, goodness gracious, this is where my technology challenges come into play. Here we go. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. Um, can you guys see that, or did it not work? Didn't work. Gosh darn it. Okay. So I don't know why this is not. It must be because I'm being all fancy. So let me fix this. Oh, that's why. Okay, we're gonna go out of the preview mode. Y'all see if I can do this, y'all can do this too. That is for sure. All right. So, um I guess I need a technology person here right beside me to help me figure
It's
this
not
out.
me.
Well, and I was actually ready for tonight.
All
So can
right,
y'all
we
see
see
that?
it. We see it.
Okay.
It's there.
Okay. So the name of the company we're talking about is Zinzino, and the meaning of Zinzino is inspiring change in life. I like that. It's kind of a catchy little title. At first I was like, Zinzino? Who names the company Zinzino? I don't care as long as they're helping people. And y'all, we are helping people. Let me just give you kind of a timeline, as far back as about 1850, majority of people were in balance. Our DNA is meant to be in balance of a 1-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. Um, Science says that we're okay if we're in a 3-to-1 ratio or better. And then sadly, anything outside of that is the danger zone. And if you look now, I mean, I had someone text me tonight. They were at 14-to-1. Again, one of the best test results I've seen. And I've been with the company now a little under 3 months. And I had another one come back at 8-to-1. I was 11-to-1. Someone said to me, "Oh, well, you're good." I said, "Well, if that's good, I'm still 300% out of balance. That's not good." And explains why I just never feel real great. And I'm gonna give you a couple symptoms here in a minute and see if anybody has ever can relate to that. But what is to blame for all of our health challenges? It's we are high in omega-6 rich foods. That's not hard for us to get. And the only way for us to get omega-3, like if I look at my right hand, I see omega-3. And if I look at my left hand, I see omega-6. And the only way for us to get omega-3 or 6 is if we take it through supplementation or through our diet. And so we're heavy in omega-6. We get a lot of omega-6. We're deficient in omega-3, y'all. And some of us might even say, well, I'm on omega-3. I'm not here to argue with you if you're on a good one. I simply say, don't leave it up to chance. Get tested and see where your number is because there's far too much at risk if we're not in balance. And so, wouldn't you rather see if your omega-3 is working for you than hope it's working for you? And so, our health is not something we want to be gambling with. And so, what are some of the consequences of not being in balance? Well, I'll just give you a few examples. Anybody here have brain fog? Drop me an emoji in the chat if you've ever experienced brain fog. Anybody have high cholesterol? Drop me a 2 in the chat. If you're struggling to lose weight, drop me a 3 in the chat. If you're another one is maybe just aging in general, low energy. Do you have low energy? Struggle sleeping, women, anybody with hot flashes? All of these, yes, could be signs of hormone imbalance and perimenopause, but it's also directly correlated to omega imbalance. And why? What is omega imbalance? I mean, even joint muscle pain, anything inflammation related. And one of the things that I'll just say is when we are in balance, our cells are soft and malleable. When we are not in balance, guess what? Our cells are like charcoal. And if our cells are like charcoal, good things can't get in, but also guess what? Toxins can't get out. And so, like I said, I was an 11-to-1 is what my test result came back 2.5 months ago. 300% out of balance. Those are not healthy, soft, and malleable cells, friends. So even if I'm taking the best multivitamin on the planet, if I'm taking other good products, my body is not able to take advantage of those vitamins and nutrients and minerals. Sadly, it can't take advantage of that, and it certainly can't get the bad stuff out. And so, I'm a big believer in getting tested and getting your own personal results. Like I said, uh, on average, I think people are in the high 20s and 30s. Colton, I bet you'll share your score here in a minute, and Tiffany, you can share yours. But y'all, I've heard them as high as 70-to-1, and that was by a person that was they looked fit, they looked relatively healthy, and they were 7-to-1, 70-to-1. I mean, that is so scary, but so is anything outside of the healthy range of 3-to-1. And so that's kind of what we're talking about here, is how important it is to have healthy cells, and then obviously being on good products. And so when we ask why are we so out of balance, unfortunately, it's really related and correlated to the foods we're eating. We're just not getting the good vitamins, nutrients, minerals from our diet like we used to get. Unfortunately, most of us are on what we call the American diet, right? And that's, like I said, heavy in omega-6. And so, uh, let me just, quickly, obviously you don't want to be in the danger zone. We can get tested. This kind of shows you roughly. And here in the United States, unfortunately, we are in Africa too, are as bad as we are. But most of the world is not in a good place. And so Zinzino has a plan. We can bring you back in balance in 120 days. And we do it with what we call our balance oil. It's not just a fish oil. And again, if you're on an omega-3 and even one in which you would call a good omega-3, get tested. Don't leave it to chance. What we offer with Zinzino is a 60% high grade fish oil from small, sustainable, wild caught fish off the coast of Norway. And it's also got a 40% of premium pre-harvest premium extra virgin olive oil. And there's a lot more.
Here
Oop,
from basic
oop,
that
we've got,
really
okay, I just muted that. Sorry, guys. Um, and we can get more into that. That's definitely not what our goal is tonight. We want to be able to introduce you to the strategy of what Zinzino is doing with our balance oil and why it's so different, but it all starts with that simple test. And numbers don't lie, y'all. And what I love is I now have a bottom line of where I'm at, and now my goal in 120 days is to be back in balance at 3-to-1 or better. And the test reveals so much more than that. I mean, about the cell membranes and how healthy they are. And I'm still learning a lot about that. But again, what else is out there that we're being told to take comes with a test, a science-based data that helps us understand that what we're taking is actually working. And every single one of our physiology is different. So why wouldn't we all want to get our numbers, our personalized numbers, and track those numbers accordingly? And so that's what Zinzino offers, and I'm so grateful. Real quickly here, before we start talking a little bit more about the money side, who can benefit from being in balance, y'all? There's not one age that can't. All the way from 6 months old to, my grandpa is going to be 91 in August. He's on the balance oil. My grandma's 89 in August. She's on the balance oil. I've got my kids on the balance oil. We've been traveling. We're still taking the balance oil. So there's health benefits at every stage of life. Now we have to be careful of the claims we make, but y'all, anything that inflammation can create problems for us is why being in balance is going to be so beneficial. And I just read an article about a month ago that said by 2027, y'all, that's not even like 5 years from now. That's like 6 months from now. Anti-inflammatory supplements are going to be a $1 trillion industry because we as Americans are living in chronic inflammation. What kinds of things happen when we live in chronic inflammation? All kinds of disease, heart health, and that's so much greater, obviously, dementia, Parkinson's, just it's there's just so many, the list is endless of what happens when our bodies live in chronic states of chronic inflammation. So getting in balance is the first step to feeling good. And so that's kind of where we start. And then once we get your numbers and we track those numbers, we've got incredible other products that are going to help to restore your gut health as well as support your immune system. And just being on the balance oil alone, I mean, we are hearing such tremendous results from that. I'm going to stop sharing. Tiffany and Colton, I want to hear from you guys. What did your tests reveal and what have you noticed from being on the balance oil? And because I mean, Tiffany, you've probably been in maybe a month longer than me, and Colton, you've been in like a week less than me.
Yeah, so I was interested because I have on and off through the years taken an omega, but I always got off of them because I always burped them and I thought they were just gross. And you obviously can't feel it working. I never could. So I was very intrigued by this. So my score, and I figured I'd be kind of okay because I actually do love salmon. I eat pretty healthy, but I was still at 22-1. And my husband tested, he was 55-1. And so I was like, well, I'm getting my son tested. And he was, I think, 35-1. So the biggest thing I noticed almost immediately, and I still catch myself feeling my fingers. I knew I had inflammation because I consistently struggled with arthritic issues in my hands. It's genetic. And I just was like, gosh, my fingers are always tight. And I feel my fingers now because they just feel skinny. Like I can actually wiggle my wedding ring now. There were days I couldn't even get it off because I was so swollen. I notice when I do certain things like in the yard and exercise, I'm not as sore. So that alone for me has been awesome. And then when I learned all the other benefits for like your hair, your skin, all the things, it's awesome. And I have not had nights now. I'm 56. So we're talking menopause and all the things. I have nights now that I have actually slept through the entire night. And I can't tell you the last time that has happened that I've gotten 8 hours, go to bed at 10, up at 6, and never waking up. So awesome.
And we're not even in balance yet. Imagine when we're actually in
No.
balance and gaining the benefits of a lot of the supplements we're taking. Ah, now Colton,
Yeah.
you are 18 years old. You just graduated from high school, buddy. And mom came in and said, I think I'm going to do multi-level marketing again, buddy. And really, I wanted your brother and you to be the first to know. And I was blown away by your reaction to it. Why don't you go ahead and share, a little bit of why you're here?
Yes, I was very excited. Just a little bit of the stress of going into college and playing football and wondering how I'm going to make money and support myself. And I just knew, like, I felt right away when she brought it up that it was just going to be a perfect. And for me, that it'd be great to balance my schedule with. And I know it's a crazy moneymaker, and it's already shown me that. But I was 33-1, and I was all about the balance oil because I saw what it does for athletes, and the recovery builds muscle, better reaction time, like overall just better performance. So I was all over it because of that. And then after like a week or two, just taking exams and like realizing how much better my focus was, had some concussions with football and just realizing that, hey, maybe those have gotten a little bit better just because of my brain function. I already can feel the difference. So definitely that surprised me. But yeah.
You know, Colton, as your mom, I was so excited that you were excited because the amount of injuries you've had the last 2 years of your football career alone, I was like, this young man needs to have his omegas in balance. I mean, y'all, we've spent time in the hospital. We have had constant injuries, and he's going to go on and play football in college. And I just thought, what timing at such a young age. And again, like you said, your brain function. I'm ecstatic. I don't know that I've ever found a product that I was as excited about my kids and the people I love taking as much as I'm excited to take it for myself. And it's a fraction of the cost, y'all, is what I was spending with a functional health practitioner. And I was wondering how I was going to be able to spoon out that kind of money for my kids too, because of course I want the best kind of options for them as well. But so Colton, what again, it's one thing to say I was curious about something that could help me make money while I was at school. Like what have you known about this industry or this vehicle of network marketing that thought this might be a an option for you heading into college?
I grew up in a family of network marketing, so I already knew a lot about it. I experienced the fun of it, the thrill, how you got to work with your loved ones and best friends. And like the worst thing about this is having a house party. Are you kidding me? I remember the big conferences and how much fun those were. So I already knew what this was gonna be like, and then just how it works like you are your own boss. You work on your own time. You don't I knew I wouldn't have to figure out something to work with my first of all my school schedule and my coach's schedule. I picked my own time. So I just loved that. And just living with my mom, seeing how much money she was making, and just how much it transformed my life, including my all my family's life. So and it's a feeling. I felt from the Holy Spirit that this was going to be an amazing opportunity, and it's been just that. So
Well, Colton, let's get into the money side of this a little bit because you joined, like I said, I joined March 31st, 2026, and you pretty much enrolled about a week later. Um, and you hit the position of platinum last month. So you'd only been in less than 2 months and you hit a position of platinum. Is that because your mother did it for you?
I wouldn't say that. I would say I hit it. I hit it pretty. Hit the ground running. Took in as much information as I could. First month I was unranked, but that set up the platinum run that I had last month. Just because you might not be seeing yourself rank up now doesn't mean you aren't building up that right leg just to build up that left leg next month. So if you're not seeing it now, it's gonna happen, and you just trust the process and you believe. And I could see myself. I still see myself as just one of the youngest top earners to ever touch Zinzino and network marketing in general. So yeah, definitely growing from here, but keeping my head down and doing all the little things.
Y'all, I'm just going to point out a platinum roughly makes about $1,600 a month. And so obviously that's an average. Some are lower than that, some are higher than that, and that's a combination of weekly pay and monthly pay. Um, Colton, would you say you were average, above average? Where did you hit last month?
I would say I was above average. By the end, after the monthly check, I was above average,
That's pretty
which is
incredible,
pretty
y'all.
crazy for an 18-year-old going into college.
Yeah. And here's the thing, y'all, him doing this with me has literally kept me on my toes because if I'm not talking to someone, he is. He's talking to him. And so or he'll say to me, "Mom, did you talk to so and so yet?" Or I'll don't you dare go after so and so. I already dropped them a line. And so if you want to help me, that's fine. I'm just like, he is a spitfire and I love every bit of it. Tiffany, you are our enroller. You're our sponsor. We joined under you and you hit the position of diamond 2 months in. Diamond, about well, let me look at that. A diamond's about $4,600 a month on average. And you and I just went to the annual convention last month because yours and my heads are both spinning. We got a lot of business happening, but we didn't even really know what we were doing. What do you have to say so far? I mean, this isn't your first rodeo. You were introduced into multi-level marketing on your honeymoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel blessed. I was 23 years old when I saw, a business like this for the first time. And I went to school for marketing and business because I wasn't smart enough to be a doctor or a lawyer, nor did I want to do that. I always wanted to have my own business. And network marketing to me was almost like having a franchise without a franchise fee. And so my husband and I both were like, why wouldn't we do something like this? And so when I looked at Zinzino, of course, through 30 years of doing a business like this, you've seen a lot of companies come, a lot of companies go. I'm sure many of you on here tonight have known someone, and you can tell in the comments, yeah, I know someone that tried and they failed, or I know someone that got in one of those things and they didn't make money. And there's a lot of skepticism with it because there is no degree required. There's no requirement other than you sign your name on a piece of paper or enter your information and put a credit card in and start. So a lot of times there's no commitment. And so when I looked at Zinzino, completely blown away by the quality of products, the price point of the products. We literally have a product that nobody has, but everybody needs, and it gets used up and it has to be replaced. So that creates a residual income, just like anything in your household that you fall in love with that you used. When you run out, if it's helping you and benefiting you, you're going to buy it again. And so just looking at that aspect and just knowing how the product can help people, that was my A1. I'm like, I don't care how much money I can make. If I don't believe in the product and the product's not going to do good for people, then I really am not interested. So I feel grateful. I was just right place, right time, y'all. People were like, oh my gosh, congratulations. I'm like, the way this business model works, you basically get a couple of people in, and the goal is people keep just working that. And I just took advantage of being in the right place at the right time, like many of you have the opportunity to do tonight. So I got a phone call from Kyler Pentecost, and I said, I'd be crazy not to look at this. And I trust you. And yes, I am open-minded. So, and that's the thing. If you're here, you're open-minded, and I just wouldn't sleep on it. That's for sure.
Well, and again, this isn't going to make sense to those of you that have never done anything like this before, but for those of you that have, this is a binary. Basically, we get paid to build two teams, and we make more money when we work together as a team to build those teams. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, that's not about how many people you know, it's about who you know, and just getting a position, locking in a spot. And so I love what you said about that, Tiffany, because for me, even knowing I mean, we're signing people up and people are like, well, what are we doing? And we're like, we don't know. But if you can help people get in balance, and getting in balance makes that big of a difference, and we're not guessing, this is test based. Like, we have data that shows our numbers. And in 4 months, we're going to test again and they're going to be better, if not in balance completely. And so, and then to have people calling you within a week, some people within 24 hours saying, I haven't had a hot flash. I haven't woke up in the middle of the night. I wake up feeling refreshed in the morning. Only 24, 48 hours on the product, y'all. That is somebody who needed this product badly. Mm-hmm. And so one thing I know is when you do the right thing, the world will pay you for it. And so if we're just helping people get healthier, getting people in balance, allowing their bodies to actually benefit from the products that they might already be taking or using, we're in the right place at the right time for sure. Well, I'll go on about a couple more things. Colton, I know your time with us was limited. So what would you say to someone here tonight with us that is considering doing this as a business? What's one thought you might leave them with? Especially because, people have been reaching out to you left and right about how do you get young people in? And you're getting young people in.
One thing, if you're thinking on the side of like, well, I'm pretty busy and I don't know if I can go full on or whatever, do it. Like, you're never too busy. If you're just sending out 2 texts a day, are you kidding me? How many texts do we send out a day? We like, how many phone calls do we have a day? It's so easy just to do a little thing. You could wake up in the morning, first thing you do, send 1 text. Go to bed, send 1 text. So I don't like it when people say they're too busy, because you're not. You're really not. It's just how you manage your time and how you fit things in. Are you going to watch an extra Netflix show, or are you going to spend some time working your business, making extra income? And another thing is like, for me, I I was 18 and I bought the ultimate kit. Okay, I didn't have a lot of money in my bank account. My money became that ultimate kit, so I took that risk. You have to take risks to see the prize and like take it. Come on, I've already made a ton more than what I've already put in, and I'm gonna get that ultimate kit money back in a year. So take that risk because it's definitely gonna work you tenfold in the future.
You know, Colton, you just said that you bought the ultimate kit, and some of you might be like, what on earth? Well, so here's the deal. There's three partner kits. For those of you that are like, yeah, I want to get tested. I want to get my number. I want to get in balance, but I also want to share this with others and get paid. There's three different partner kits that you can build this business with. And I mean, yes, you
It's
can
not
join.
showing on your screen yet. Oh, there we go. All right.
It
It
isn't?
was.
Oh,
It
okay.
is now. Yep, it wasn't. It was just black for like a minute. I'm like, it's not there.
It's a delay. So there's three levels in which you can get involved. Uh, I don't think I don't think it's a question. I think it's not a matter of which, it's not a matter of which kit. It's the ultimate kit. And let me show you why. Because it's the only kit that you get a full refund for. So you're like joining this business for free, essentially, and you're getting $3,000 worth of product. What do I mean? You're getting it for free on your 1 year anniversary. If you have 25 product subscriptions running through your business, they give you a full refund. And you don't have to do that by yourself, y'all. We're going to help you. We're going to teach you what that looks like and how to do that. And what is the monthly overhead to run your business? Well, as long as you have 4 customer subscriptions running through your business, uh, it's free to run your business. Y'all, and you get a free bottle of oil to stay in balance yourself. That is not just a low risk investment. I call that a no risk investment. And when Colton said he put in $1,200 to buy his ultimate partner kit, it was all his money. You better believe he was serious about taking action. You better believe he was calling me more than I was calling him to say, well, how are you going to build your business today? He was calling me going, Mom, I got to make that money back. So he hasn't even hit his 1 year anniversary yet, and he's already made that kind of money times three. And so it's been well worth the investment. Plus, he got all that free product. And I can promise you, you're going to want your people to join on that ultimate because it helps everybody move faster toward their goals. Um, and so, but it's the only kit you can get a refund for. I do just want to show you real quick because I know we have some people on here from Canada tonight, but y'all, we're open in about 100 countries. 100 countries. Do you have family in another country? Is there a place you've always wanted to travel? Um, the United States is not their primary market. That is what blows my mind. I was a part of a company that went to almost 1 billion in sales, and we started when there was about 20 million in sales. And we made some significant money from that company. And so I just know what's in front of us by opening our mouth and sharing a good product. And you know, Tiffany, I think that's what I love about this business model is where else do you share something you love and it's working for you? I mean, you know, we all went and saw that Michael Jackson movie and we were telling everybody how good it was. And the movie theater didn't pay me every time somebody I sent and recommended to watch that movie. But in direct sales, that's what we get paid to do. We get paid to refer people. And, you know, we don't have to convince them. We don't have to convince them that they need a good omega. We just simply have to say, get tested, get your numbers, know where you stand. And if you're feeling things like brain fog, if you're not sleeping well, if you have low energy, no energy, you probably want to get tested. You know, it could be the foundational reason. I believe it is the reason, but hey, get tested. Find out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Um, and the company pays us when we recommend people to do that. I mean, I think for a while I used to think, I don't know if I want to be associated with network marketing. And now I can't think of anything else I'd rather be associated with, especially in this world of AI where everything is like automated or not our voice. And you wonder if you're getting an authentic person or not. That's what I want to talk to. I want to talk to authentic, real people and see what they're using and how they're doing. And I want to follow somebody that's going in the direction that I want to be in. Uh-oh, Tiffany, can you hear me? There might be a delay. Okay. All right.
Yep, I can hear you fine.
All right. Well, anything you'd add for someone that's thinking about, they're on the fence tonight about getting involved, what would you leave them with?
Well, I would just say here's the reality of our world is people need extra income for the most part. Like there's probably not too many people on here like I have so much money I don't know what to do with it. I mean, Cami, has made millions in the industry and still sees an opportunity. So whether you want to join because you need more income or whether you join because you're like I really want to help people or whether you join me because you're like gosh, I'd love to just be around a positive group of people that are doing something and making an impact in the world, like your reason to do this is your reason. And you can't go wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to get healthier, have some more fun, make some money, help people, and you have someone support you, I could get it if we're like, hey, go figure it out. But again, it's almost like a franchise without a franchise fee. You're stepping into something that's already working, that's already successful. People ahead of you are already doing it with success. We're a 20-year-old company that's just entering into the US. So it's not like we're like, hey, we're hoping this works. It's already $350 million in sales working in other countries. Let's just do that here.
That's
And
right.
so we're just looking for the people who say, you know what? What have I got to lose? I got nothing to lose, but I have everything to gain because my yes could be the biggest thing and the best thing that ever happens for me and my family. And if you say no, guess what? Think about maybe you had an opportunity years ago that you said no to. How much different is your life now today if you didn't take advantage of it? You're probably in the same boat. So it comes down to do you want a different outcome in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Because that means you need to do it something different. And that's what we're just going to help you do is do something different and take the steps and support you along the way.
I love it, Tiffany. I'll just reiterate, y'all are not getting in business by yourself. You are getting in business for yourself, but you will not be by yourself. And we have a simple system already in play, and we're just going to help you plug into that. And they say it takes about 120 days for our cells to get healthy and for us to get in balance. And they have a 120-day fast start program that'll help you earn about $3,000 right out of the gate. You can earn that as fast within that 120 days as you want. And we're just going to plug you into that system and allow you to take advantage of what's on the table. And so I would encourage you, if you have any questions, get back with the person that invited you tonight and get those questions answered. And for those of you that are here tonight because maybe you have a question, we're going to go ahead and stick around and answer any questions that you got too, because that's what we do. We're a team and your success is our success. And so we want to see you hit those milestones for yourself, whatever those goals and dreams might be. I love what you said, Tiffany, because I didn't join my first business because I was thinking I want good friends and good quality people, but I'd never met anybody so incredible. And then I needed the money. I mean, I needed the money. So I was just looking for a solid company that would be there and pay me on time. And the products help people. But I got so much more than I ever imagined, that's for sure. And I did it for over a decade. It was some of the most incredible years of my life. And now look at, because of my kids watching what we did, they're doing it with us. They're not going to let us pass. They're not going to let it pass them by. My goodness, I can't even speak. And it's funny, my one kid, you just heard him, said he joined because he was like, oh, this is big stuff. My other kid was like, wait, the whole family's doing it? All of us are doing it? Well, I don't want to miss out on that. I want to be with my aunt and my uncle and my mom and my brother. And so, like Tiffany said, we're all going to, for one reason or another, it pulls us in, but there's so many benefits that we won't even realize till we've been in for a bit. All right, Tiffany, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.